Welcome to Infinite Storyverse, where every story reaches into the deepest corners of the heart. Today's story is one that will shake you, move you, and leave you quietly reflecting. What my dad did after catching me changed everything. The icy wind stung my face as I tore through the silent suburban streets, my breath coming in sharp bursts. My hands, clenched tightly around the evidence of my misstep, trembled with equal parts fear and adrenaline. I hadn't meant for the night to spiral this far out of control. My only wish, foolish and naive, had been to impress someone, to break free, just for a moment, from the straight line I had drawn for myself. But now, running back home, my heart pounding like a war drum in my chest, I knew something had changed. There would be no undoing it. In the distance, the familiar porch light of our modest home flickered like a lighthouse pulling in a wayward ship. The lawn, bathed in pale gold, looked exactly as it always had. But everything inside me knew this would be a homecoming unlike any other. I paused on the front step, gasping, struggling to catch my breath, not just from the run, but from the emotional tsunami building in my gut. I gripped the doorknob, exhaled, and stepped into the warmth of our living room. And there he was. My father sat still, surrounded by the soft hum of lamplight. His expression was unreadable, an enigma carved in stone, and yet, in his eyes, something shifted. Not rage. Not disappointment. Something deeper. I braced myself. Growing up, my dad was a man of few words but powerful presence. He never raised his voice. He never needed to. His silence alone could fill a room with expectation. He was a firefighter, a community hero, but to me he was just Dad, the man who could fix a leak, calm a storm, and make everything okay. Our house wasn't fancy, but it pulsed with love. Photos of my mother, who had died when I was just a baby, smiled down at us from every room. My dad never talked much about her, but he always made sure her presence lingered, her laughter, her warmth, her values. Character, he used to say, is about doing the right thing when no one's watching. Those words haunted me now. High school was its own battlefield, not the academic part, but the constant pressure to be perfect. I had a reputation as the reliable kid. Good grades. No parties. Never pushing boundaries. Until Lily showed up. Lily was the storm I didn't see coming. Wild. Beautiful. Reckless in a way that made my chest ache with envy. She made the world seem bigger, fuller. With her, I tasted freedom. Even if that freedom came laced with risk. That night, it was her idea, break into the old warehouse at the edge of town and leave our mark, literally. Spray paint our names. It felt harmless. Rebellious, sure, but thrilling too. But the moment I clicked down on that spray can and watched the red paint hiss onto the bricks, I felt something shift inside me. And then, the sirens. The blaring lights. The metallic chill of fear slithering down my spine. Run! Lily screamed, already bolting. But I froze. My hand still clutched the spray can. On the wall behind me, a single word glowed under the crimson paint, Mom. The cruiser screeched to a stop. I raised my hands. And then I heard it, his voice. The voice I least expected in that moment. My father. He stepped out of the shadows, not in his firefighter uniform, but in something heavier, an expression that broke me. I've got this, he told the officer. Calm. Firm. And he did. The ride home was pure silence. A void I couldn't fill with apologies. Streetlights flashed past, and I stared at my reflection in the window, wondering who I had become. In the driveway, he let the engine idle. His hands rested on the steering wheel, still, tight. Do you even understand what you've done? He asked. I opened my mouth. Closed it again. No excuses, he added. And then, his voice cracked. Not with anger, but fear. You could have been taken in. Booked. You think those sirens were just background noise? I pulled kids out of burning buildings. I've seen what happens when someone doesn't get a second chance. You almost didn't get yours. That was the first time I ever saw him shaken. The strongest man I knew, rattled to his core. I wanted to scream that I hadn't meant it, that I wasn't bad. I was just tired. Tired of always doing the right thing. Of carrying the weight of expectations. Of being the good kid. But those words felt hollow now. The next few days, he barely spoke. The silence was louder than any punishment. No scolding. No lectures. Just distance. Lily, meanwhile, brushed it off. So what? You're not in jail. Your dad fixed it, didn't he? Chill. But I couldn't. When I confronted her, told her how scared I'd been, how abandoned I felt when she sped off, she laughed. You're such a Boy Scout, she sneered. That was when I realized Lily wasn't the person I thought she was. She was a mirror for my rebellion, not a partner in understanding. I walked away. From her. From that version of myself. Later that weekend, I found my dad in the garage, elbows deep in the engine of his truck. Can we talk? I asked. He didn't look up at first. I stepped in, voice shaking. I made a mistake. I didn't do it to be bad. I felt trapped in the role everyone expects from me. The perfect son. And I wanted, just once, to not be that. Finally, he turned. And for the first time in days, his eyes softened. Son, he said, leaning against the truck, being good doesn't mean being perfect. It means owning your choices. It means knowing when you've veered off course and steering yourself back. I nodded. For the first time I understood what he'd been teaching me all along. This wasn't just about spray paint or police sirens. It was about integrity. About the quiet moments when no one's watching. About becoming someone I could be proud of, not someone trapped by pressure, but someone freed by understanding. And my dad? He didn't just catch me that night. He saved me.